Welcome, everybody, to Elizabeth Live on Wellness, where you get to learn all kinds of things that help you feel better and live better. With me tonight is a wonderful person who's so brilliant and genius in what he does to help other people learn how to live healthier and live longer. He is America's Healthy Heart Doctor, and he's been featured on Dr. Oz, The Doctors, the Joe Rogan Experience. He's written for many national publications, and he's just an all-around impressive, amazing person contributing great things. He also has a vegetarian restaurant called Green Space Cafe in Royal Oak, Michigan, and he's just doing amazing things. So tonight, he is going to talk with us about how some foods may boost your immunity. With us tonight is Dr. Joel Kahn. Welcome. I'm so excited for you to be here.
Thank you so much, friend. It's a good chance to reconnect with you because we haven't seen each other in a little bit, even though we live in the same general area. So
Right.
you keep healthy on your east side of town. I'll keep healthy on my west side of town. And hopefully everybody in between will stay healthy too.
Absolutely, absolutely. So we're going to keep it short, sweet, and fast moving tonight. We want to hear from you, Dr. Kahn, about what people can eat on a daily basis and how they can eat to hopefully boost their immune system.
Yeah, it's an important question. And even just step back, can we boost our immune system? Can we measure our immune system? And even, is food important? Well, you know food's important, and I know food's important, but in the general concept, I had a consult maybe an hour ago, my last patient of the day, a very intelligent health professional. I won't disclose it anymore. But I always have a little quiz. Have you ever heard of forks over knives? Have you ever heard of Hippocrates' statement, food is medicine? You know who Dr. Dean Ornish is? And this isn't ever to pimp people. It's just to get a little gauge where they're at. What have they read? And like most people, that was all no, no, no. I'm not sure what you're talking about. So that connection, even in the health community, and this is not only a health professional, but he had seen 3 or 4 cardiologists in the last year that nobody had brought up, what do you eat for breakfast, lunch, dinner? So anyway, so all these things are just a little background statement. So it is actually challenging as a medical doctor to measure your immune system. If you came to me now and said, how's my immune system doing? I could ask questions like, do you get frequent colds? Have you been on antibiotics? You have urinary tract infection, good basic questions, skin rashes and skin health. When you get to lab work, it's actually a little challenging. We might want to look at your white blood count, but most people are in that normal range. Of course, if you have an extremely low white blood count, it might be a problem. And an extremely high one, there's something going on. There's a word, hopefully your listeners know the word inflammation. The middle word is flame. Inflammation means an irritation that shows up in lab work. Of course, you have to order the right labs. If your white blood count is sky high, it's inflammation from a pneumonia or urinary infection, but that doesn't happen very often. We have special ones. There's one called the SED rate, SED rate. My favorite is one that shows if your arteries are inflamed. It's called the high sensitivity C-reactive protein. Anyways, your doctor can do a little lab assessment if you are healthy in terms of inflammation or if you are excessive. And that might reflect that your immune system is off and weakened. We do know, unfortunately, that we've learned with COVID that obesity, which is such a prevalent problem, the statistics are like 75% of Americans are overweight or obese. Now, the obesity problem can go all the way up, obviously, to very extreme obesity. It's nothing about fat shaming, nothing about how people look. It's just, in some people, obesity drives our inflammation system crazy, particularly weight around the waist. You don't really want a big roll around the belly. It can lead to inflammation. So these are some of the ways we assess that. Then how can you make it better? Well, some of this stuff is intuitive and some of it is medical. And there isn't enough medical. It's intuitive that trips to Wendy's and Burger King and McDonald's and having 2-liter Pepsis and having milkshakes and French fries. Partly the food itself. We just said that your health can create inflammation, but food can be pro-inflammation or anti-inflammation. And we know that when you're eating from the garden, when you're eating fruits and vegetables, I just posted on Instagram, did you have a salad bigger than your head today? Because I
Oh,
should the
man.
other day.
Me too.
Salad, beans, peas, lentils, and unless you have something like celiac disease, whole grains, whether they're 100% whole wheat bread or buckwheat or quinoa or amaranth or millet or brown rice, white rice. These are anti-inflammatory foods, and this is scientifically shown. You can adopt a plant-based diet and watch your markers of inflammation go down. Similarly, sugar-rich processed foods, poor quality oils that restaurants use to fry food, maybe even meat itself is pro-inflammatory. And if you want to keep your immune system optimal, you'd rather eat an anti-inflammatory, plant-based, plant predominant, Mediterranean style anti-inflammatory diet. It's going to be better for your immune system, even if it's difficult to measure it. Um, and then there are that's just like the big picture. Crap, goodbye. Whole food, real food, clean food. But I would put it largely or only plant-based food. I think you know this. I've been eating plant-only food, call it vegan food, for 44 years now, and rarely have missed a day of work in 44 years since I was 18. And I credit a lot of that to eating, more than average fiber and nutrients and colors and crunchy. You want crunchy food. And not too many people call chicken crunchy unless you fried it. And if you're eating fried chicken, you're not eating immune healthy food. And so that's like the big picture. I have written in some of the Detroit newspapers, editorials, on a podcast I have and things like that. I'm not the only one, but there's not been enough. That COVID should be a time that there's more messaging, not just about masks, that's important, or washing your hands or social distancing, and soon to be a vaccine. But we should have educated the public about don't smoke, excess drinking, get more physical fitness, lose some weight, eat more plants, cut out the junk, stop going and getting buckets of fried chicken or donuts or sweets. And, some people were stressed out, and unfortunately, they increased the crap that they were eating because of stress and emotional eating.
Mhm.
And if there was a little more medical leadership and civic leadership and health leadership to, hear that it wasn't just when you do take your mask off, have a big salad, not have a cheesecake. It's not moving in the right direction. So, these are important. And then you can, if you don't mind me, just keep waxing for a minute. There
Sure.
are specific nutrients. That's where it gets a little hazy unless you're in the medical world or the science world. So we have a pretty strong feeling that having a diet that provides adequate vitamin D, let
Mhm.
me say even a lifestyle that provides adequate vitamin D, boosts our immune system. And of course, you can measure that. That's a blood test called a vitamin D blood level. Very simple blood test. Everybody should ask their doctor for. I had another patient today was unbelievably deficient in vitamin D, and it's very
Mhm.
common. We
Mhm.
think adequate vitamin D keeps your immune system working. Well, mushrooms happen to be very rich in vitamin D, and I encourage people
Oh.
to eat simple mushrooms, portobello mushrooms. You can get fancy and eat crimini mushrooms, whatever you want. There's so many mushroom types, but many people don't like mushrooms. Some dairy products are fortified with vitamin D. Some plant milk, like almond milk, oat milk, soy milk, are fortified in vitamin D and other
Mhm.
foods. It's still very easy to be deficient in vitamin D. Sunshine, but we're in Michigan, not in Malibu, and I'm not so sure how many people in Malibu are lying out all day long. Anyway, bottom line is if you're not getting enough food with vitamin D, and you're probably not, you might think about a vitamin, although that's not,
Mhm.
the kind of whole food approach I like, but it's still important. And
Mhm.
zinc, I mean, how many people heard a lot about zinc until 2020?
Mhm.
Zinc is a mineral like magnesium, like calcium, but it has more of a role in our immune health. We think being zinc deficient during COVID is unwise and being zinc replete. And if you're not a vegan, oysters have traditionally been called a sexy food because they provide a lot of zinc, and zinc's also necessary for sperm development. But we're not talking about sperm tonight, so let's get off that topic. But in my world, it's pumpkin seeds, sesame seeds, other nuts and whole foods. Tofu
Mhm.
has zinc, but I'm going to tell you, I take a zinc supplement during COVID, and there is a blood test if you want to ask your doctor. I do it on my patients. I don't
Mhm.
want them walking around deficient in zinc. So
Mhm.
they can't get it through food, I'll boost it. And the last, well, vitamin C. A lot of people have been talking about vitamin C. A few people were, scratched their head about 2 months ago. Dr. Fauci, who, of course, has really been on social media and media since about March about COVID. But I think it was about 2 months ago. He said, "Well, yeah, I've been taking vitamin C and vitamin D ever since the beginning of this."
Uh-huh.
Well, why didn't you tell me that? So vitamin C, of course, a lot of vitamin C from citrus and fruits and leafy greens. You're not going to get vitamin C from a steak or a burger or a chicken breast or a salmon patty. You're going to get C from fruits and vegetables, but be sure you get adequate vitamin C as important immune health. And the last one is omega 3.
Mhm.
um, Many people have heard that word. Maybe you think omega-3 fish oil capsules or omega-3 krill oil, but omega-3 is a nutrient that humans are completely unable to make. In fact, we're unable to make vitamin C too. We have to eat an orange or we have to eat an apple to get vitamin C. Same thing with omega-3. So it turns out a lot of people think about fish. Well, it turns out there's only really three fish that produce a lot of vitamin C. Omega 3, sorry. And that's salmon, sardine, and herring. And
Mm.
I really should clarify, they don't actually produce omega 3, they concentrate it. They're like
Okay.
little sponges for little algae in the water. But, anyways, if you like salmon, it will beat the heck out of a hamburger for omega 3. If you like little sardine and herring, same thing. But a lot of people don't eat any of those. And as a vegan, I don't eat any of those. So I have a diet very rich in flaxseed and chia
Mhm.
seeds and hemp hearts and walnuts and leafy greens. These all are very rich sources in omega 3. I don't want to be low in omega 3. I actually have a weird habit. I'll reach over. I eat little chlorella tablets every day. That's actually a algae. You
Uh-huh.
know, people eat algae around the world as food, just like
Mhm.
people eat seaweed and sushi. But it turns out chlorella, I don't know if anybody can see these little green,
Oh, okay.
are extremely rich in omega 3 and protein. People say
Oh.
you can't get protein from plants. Well, 64% protein in chlorella. And any health food store or online, you can buy a big jar of chlorella tablets. So
Uh-huh.
that's how you boost your immune system using food. Don't smoke. If you have a drink, don't have three. And I'll say finally, we've probably never had more need to try and get 7 hours of good sleep than during COVID, because there's at least decent data that a part of keeping a healthy immune system is just turning everything off around 10 or 11 at night and trying to get to 6:30 in the morning sleeping. So it's a
Mhm.
healthy lifestyle. COVID should be reminding us that's our purpose in 2020 and 2021. And hopefully we can keep that going forward because it's going to result in better health. But better immune health is really the key right now.
Right. Yes, yes, yes. I love all of that. I love that you said the Hippocrates. He was the father of modern medicine. He was an ancient Greek doctor, and he
Right.
said, "Let food be your medicine, and medicine be your food."
Right.
So I practice that. You practice that. But how do we get people to shift their thinking about food not as just what tastes good or what I feel like right now, but in terms of what does my body need for fuel and nutrition for the long
Yeah.
term?
Always a challenge. And I know you meant this, but healthy food can be incredibly tasty food.
Yes.
It may take a little change in your palate. Maybe you're used to French fries, cheeseburgers, and a malt, and that's one way of eating. It's soft, it's mushy, it smells in a certain attractive manner that the food companies know how to zap us. But a lot of us eat that way and we feel swollen and inflamed, and we're tired and we're gassy, and we have acne, and we have what's called brain fog. We just don't feel sharp. That's what I love. If I can get somebody, usually when I'm in my clinic, I really baby steps. So I'll ask people, how about you give up dairy for 2 or 3 weeks. I'm
Uh-huh.
seriously give up dairy, but that doesn't mean you can't have a glass of milk or cream cheese or yogurt. I want you to go over to Kroger's or Myers or Target or Whole Food, wherever you shop. I want you to find all the substitutes that are there, all the soy milks and the almond milks. And the hottest one out there right now is oat milk. There's oat milk milk. There's oat milk yogurt. There's oat milk ice cream. There's oat milk coffee creamer. People just really find the flavor very, very delicious and interchangeable with cow milk.
Mhm.
Many people in 3 weeks, for the first time, their gassy stomach is gone. Some kind of acne, oily skin is better. They're not, burping, and they really have a lighter feeling, and you've got them hooked.
Mhm.
That's an easy one. Well,
Mhm.
I actually ask people just either to eat that big salad every day or even just an apple every day. For a lot of
Oh.
people, that's the only piece of fruit. And sadly, sometimes they're not even eating any vegetables. So if you eat a salad and an apple, you're not a vegan, but you have just increased the amount of fiber and minerals and vitamins and your immune system. So little baby steps. And sometimes the third thing I'll do is tell them, you've had 5 million hamburgers in your life. Go to the grocery store. And I want you to try a substitute burger. I mean, nowadays with Beyond Meat Burger, Impossible Burger, try and steer away from those. I actually like there's some plant burgers at Trader Joe's. There's some plant burgers at Aldi's in the area. A little bit cleaner, a little bit healthier, a little lower fat content, incredibly good flavor.
Mm.
And grill them up or, make sure they got the lines in them so they look like you were barbecuing your traditional burger. There's no way, if you get a whole wheat bun, lettuce, tomato, mustard, a pickle, and you put one of those burgers in, even if you just ate it alone, you wouldn't be able to tell a difference. But, it's just great to, find the food you love, but we're going to create a healthier version that helps your immune system, helps you feel better. And if you can
Mm.
get people, making small steps, maybe that seems like a lot to people. Dairy, particularly cheese. Cheese can be very addictive. Cheese can be that, and I'm not talking 3 inches of cheese on a Pizza Hut pizza. That's not even food. That's, basically cocaine that comes in a pizza box. It's purposely designed just to, feed your addiction. But if you can get people to have, shredded wheat with oat milk instead of cow milk, and they realize, hey, this is a very small change in my life, and you might get into the next step.
Mhm.
Try bean soup instead of beef soup. But
Oh,
there's a
yeah.
few people with health issues. I want them to make quicker changes, and
Mhm.
there are some programs. There's a traditional statement. If you're willing, let's say you have type 2 diabetes, or you have psoriasis, or you have heart disease, and you really want to use Hippocrates and try and see if food will help your health crisis, you probably don't want to go slow. You want to go faster. So there
Right.
are online programs, and we have local programs in Detroit to really kickstart it quicker. In fact, one of them is free online. It's called the 21daykickstart.org. It's not my program, number 21daykickstart.org. A lot of people find if they will change their diet for 3 weeks, it starts to taste good. It starts to
Yeah.
feel good. They're sleeping better. And
Yeah.
it takes about that long to kind of get onto a better diet and
Mhm.
have a chance of sticking with it.
Mhm. Have you found that people are now having sort of a wake-up call during the pandemic and deciding, "Hey, I need to change my habits and eat healthier?"
Not enough. It's interesting because I ask every patient in my clinic about their diet, and the quarantine and the COVID has led some. Now, the good blessing is a lot of people are eating in restaurants less than they used to. Not that all restaurants are unhealthy. I own a healthy restaurant,
Right.
but some people have learned to cook at home and have actually learned how to cook some healthy food at home. Some people
Mm.
have lost weight in a
Mhm.
healthy, productive manner.
Mhm.
But a lot of people, it's just, Papa Romano's pizza every night, or Happy's pizza every night, or a bucket of chicken for the kids every night. They just haven't really discovered that there's a room in the house called the kitchen and a box there called the refrigerator freezer that you can actually prepare meals. But look I'm sympathetic. A lot of times now we've got husband, wife, kids all at home all day long, and they're working at a distance, and kids are trying to do homework. And like in some households, the stress level is so crazy. if you're outsourcing your food production. I kind of get it. It's a challenging
Yeah.
time, but maybe on the weekend at least
Yeah.
bring in healthier meals. So it's a mixed bag how people are responding.
Well, there are healthy meal delivery services now that, that's an alternative. And I also believe that the emotional aspect of eating is so intricately tied to our
Right.
identities that
Right.
we go to food when we're stressed. And now this is a very stressful time, as you just
It's
said.
true.
Therefore, you need a new outlet. I mean, as someone who lost lots of weight and now
Yeah.
I go running instead of eating ice cream, you have to change your mindset and your reflexes in response to stress. So
I
that
agree. It's
just
that thing, pizza never tells you to pick your underwear up off the floor. And, kind of ice cream never tells you, to put your pajamas away. I mean, it's always there for you. It's your emotional friend. But, you want that healthy immune system. You want to keep your weight from skyrocketing during the next few months of quarantine.
Yeah.
And all, you got to look at food, as you said right at the beginning, food as healthy fuel for your car, for your body, not as, you wouldn't pick up a brand new Lincoln Continental and put, 50% water, 50% gas to save a buck. You put what the car needs, but our own body is much more complex and valuable than a Lincoln Continental. Yet we put really, really poor quality everything. It's just,
Mhm, mhm. Dr. Kahn, can you talk about how when you do shift to a plant-based diet, you feel better, you look better? What are some of the benefits of it?
yeah. Well, Hippocrates is also famous in my realm for saying all disease begins in the gut
Ooh.
being the GI tract. And he doesn't get as much play for that statement. But the way medicine has gone in the last 20 years, the way science has gone, that really we're dwarfed. Any human on the planet is dwarfed by having a colony of bacteria in our skin, in our mouth, but largely in our intestines. And they're our friends when we take good care of them. It's like having a chia pet, and they can do a lot of good for us. They help us make vitamins. They help us keep our blood thin and not clotting. They help us keep our cholesterol down, our blood sugar down. But when you feed your intestines and therefore these trillions of bacteria, donuts, sugar, fried foods, meats, cheeses, you actually disrupt your GI tract. You let a lot of toxins in the body, and those toxins can damage your arteries. Those toxins can raise your blood sugar. Those toxins can make your joints feel tight and swollen, and your skin break out, and your skin feels swollen. And if you take the opposite, that whether I like it or not, I'm a partner with trillions of little critters that live inside of me, and I better treat them well. And it really is the truth. That's how it works. So I'm going to give them, some purple cabbage and some green leafy lettuce, and I'm going to give them a cucumber, and I'm going to feed them an orange and a banana, and raspberries and pomegranates. It's incredible. So the benefits are there's you lower the chance you're going to become sick. Could be acutely sick, like a pandemic, like an infection, like colitis, diverticulitis, appendicitis, urinary tract infections. All those can be reduced by eating a healthy and largely or completely plant-based diet. And then you got the big long-term diseases: cancer, heart disease, diabetes, lung diseases. All these are improved when you add these brightly colored anti-inflammatory fuels to your body. And not every case, but many cases of heart disease, they're food-related heart disease. Most cases of type 2 diabetes, adult diabetes, food-related diabetes. We should just
Mhm.
call it that. Your doctor should
Ooh.
tell you you have diet-related diabetes, you have diet-related heart disease, you have diet-related breast cancer, prostate cancer, you have diet-related arthritis. And anything brought on can be also reversed if you shift. So that's the good news. Anybody listening that hasn't done it right for the years in the past, just starting tonight, within 3 weeks, 6 weeks, 8 weeks, you might see a phenomenal improvement. Next time you go to the doctor, they might be saying, "What have you been doing?" I've had
Yes.
patients do that, and what have you been doing the last few months? Well, all those things you told me I did, and some of them have come off of some of their medication, and have just incredible energy, and it's just food, food, food. It's incredible. It doesn't have to be expensive either. I mean, beans and rice and greens and fruits and veggies, frozen fruits, they're
Yeah.
all perfect, perfect foods, and they're generally going to be cheaper, except the fast food restaurant, but they're going to be cheaper than the meats and the chickens that you buy at the
Mhm.
grocery store.
Mhm. Yeah, yeah, it's remarkable, and you get excited about all these yummy foods like beans. I make the best bean soup and salads, and it's just fun. There's
Yep.
so much versatility, and it makes
Right.
you feel great.
It does. It does. And just polished off some cauliflower onion soup my wife made, and a gigantic
Mm,
salad, and a lasagna casserole. But my lasagna doesn't have beef, and my lasagna doesn't have cheese. It has all plant derived sources. But the reality is, if anybody ate it, they wouldn't even know the difference, except they wouldn't see hamburger meat in it. But it's
right.
delicious. Yeah, you don't have to sacrifice flavor or diversity, or you can be Italian one night, and Lebanese one night, and Greek
Mhm.
one night, and French one night, and
Mhm.
American continental. It's just we got to get away from that southern fried food diet that kills lots of people at a very young age. So stay away from that.
And also all the chemicals, and there's a lot of anxiety and fear and stress going on right now, and I know that eating a healthy diet with more natural ingredients instead of a whole bunch of chemicals, toxins, preservatives, artificial colors affects your mental health because all those chemicals aren't in your body.
Yeah, that's that next level of sophistication. And of course, you're a very sophisticated eater, but I agree with you. you know, None of us can eat a completely clean diet unless maybe we have really a large garden during the summer and we can our produce and we can control pesticides, herbicides. But most of us, we just got to do the best we can. And you're
Yeah.
right, statistically, without a doubt, eating a fruits and veggies. Sorry, there's a phone ringing in the background, and grains and beans are just going to have less of the contaminants out there. And
Yeah.
most of us can't afford or can't find an all organic diet. It's just not going to happen.
Mhm.
Once in a while, it makes sense. Like I eat tofu, I eat tempeh. These are soy based. Well, I will only buy organic based tofu because Monsanto has modified every soybean in America unless it has that little green organic symbol on the container. But the reality is the soy milk or soy yogurt or tofu you see in the grocery store is going to have an organic symbol anyway. So, but you're right. So do the best you can, but you'll always be in better shape in terms of environmental toxicity that you're eating when it's fruits and vegetables.
Mhm. Dr. Kahn, this has been so informative. I'm immensely grateful for you sharing your expertise and experience tonight so other people can learn how to live better, feel better, and live longer
Yeah,
and
well,
stay healthy during the pandemic.
thank you. It really is important because, you and I are pretty experienced at this topic, but I can tell you, maybe you have that experience, but I mean, I have the opportunity as a physician focused on preventive medicine, preventive cardiology, wellness, to
Mhm.
ask every patient, what do they know? What do they eat? What's their understanding? And we are not doing the job in the United States, in the medical world, the nursing world, of communicating this idea that many diseases are brought on by the food choices we make. And good news is many diseases can start to go away by just
Mm.
making new food choices. You're not trapped if you're in type 2 diabetes. You're not trapped if you're a heart patient on 8 drugs, 10 drugs. You're not trapped if you're an arthritis patient or you're dealing with some mental brain health issues, depression. All these conditions have a chance of being greatly improved by upgrading, cleaning up, eating a natural plant diet. Just give it a little time, make a few mistakes, but make 2021 the year that you decide that food is medicine and feel better because of cauliflower, not because of Keflex or some such.
I love it. That's awesome. Well, thank you so very much. And I wish you the absolute best in wellness and success and helping more people transform their lives through healthier plant based eating.
Thank you very much. You too. Keep up the good work.
Thank you, Dr. Khan. It's always a delight to see you. And thank you all for joining us tonight here on Elizabeth Live on Wellness. If you're finding value in this program, please do like, share, subscribe, comment, and click the notification bell so you'll know every time I go live or upload a new video. Meanwhile, be well and enjoy a plant-based diet. Thanks for watching.